Right. Good morning, students. Welcome to the online CET classes. So today in this class, we discuss about logic gates, synopsis of logic gates, and MCQ related to the logic gates. Now, logic gates. These are the digital circuits which are having one or more inputs. Which are having the digital. These are the digital circuits which have one or more inputs and only one output. Are called what? Logic gates. Logic gates have only two answers. That is, one is low and another is what? High. One is low and another is what? High. Low can be represented by 0. High can be represented by 1. Now, there are three basic gates. That is AND gate, OR gate and NOT gate. These are the basic gates. AND, OR and NOT gate. So AND gate has two or more inputs and only one output. This is the circuit symbol of the AND gate. And this is the Boolean equation related to the AND gate. And this is the truth table of the AND gate. And from this truth table, it is confirmed that when both the inputs are 0, output is 0. If any one of the input is high, then also output is low. If both the inputs are high, then the output is high. That means the AND gate is a logic gate in which if both the inputs are high, then the output is what? High. Next, OR gate. This is the circuit symbol of the OR gate. And this is the Boolean equation. Y is equal to A plus B. It's a Y is equal to A plus B. This Y is equal to A plus B. Now this is the truth table. From this truth table, it is clear that if any one of the input is I, A and B represents input and Y represent output. If any one of the input is I, then the output is high. NOT gate. So it is a most basic gate with only one input and one output. It is only having a one input and one output. And here Y is equal to A bar, or A negotiation. A negotiation means if the input is high, output is low. If the input is low, output is high. If the input is high, output is low. Look at here, the truth table. So if the input is high, output is low. If the input is low, output is high. That is called negotiation, and it is represented by output is equal to Y equals A bar. Next, NAND gate and NOR gate. These are called universal gates. Why they are called universal gates means by using this NAND and NOR gate, we can construct any basic gates like AND gate, OR gate and what? NOT gate. That's why these are called universal gates. Now this is the circuit symbol of the NAND gate. It's a AND gate followed by NOT gate. This can also be written as a AND gate followed by NOT gate. AND gate followed by NOT gate. This is called NAND gate. And the Boolean equation is Y is equal to A dot B bar. A dot B bar. And the truth table is, look at here. When A is low, B is low, then A into B in this equation. So when A is low, B is low, Y equals what? Low. But it's a bar. Low of bar is what? I. I. Similarly, 1, 0 is 0. 0 here. But the negotiation of 0 is what? 1. 0, 1 is also 0. And negotiation of 0 is what? 1. If both the inputs are high, so then A into B is high. Negotiation of A into B gives what? 0. This is the truth table of AND gate. Next, NOR gate. NOR gate is the OR gate followed by NOT gate. It is a OR gate followed by NOT gate. OR gate followed by NOT gate. Like this. This is a circuit symbol of the what? NOR gate. It's a OR gate followed by NOT gate. This is a Boolean equation. A plus B bar. And this is the truth table. If both the inputs are low, output is high. If any one of the input is high, then the output is low. Next one, XOR gate. XOR gate. This is the XOR gate, circuit diagram of the XOR gate. And the truth table, the Boolean equation of the XOR gate is given by y is equal to a bar b plus b bar a. And the truth table is both the inputs are low, output is low. If the both the inputs are high, output is low. And the output is high only if the one input is high. And one input is what? Low. So this is the truth table of the XOR gate. Next, loss of this Boolean equation. If we come to the loss of this Boolean equation. First one, 0 plus a is equal to a. 0 plus a is equal to what? A. Example, 0 plus, if you put a equals 0, 0 plus 0 is equal to what? 0. 0 plus, if I put a equals 1, 0 plus 1 is equal to what? 1. Therefore, the 0 plus a is equal to what? A. This is the first rule. Second one, 1 plus a. 1 plus a is equal to 1. Example, 1 plus 0. If you put a equals 0, it's a 1. 1 plus, if I put a equals 1, 1 plus 1 is equal to what? 1. Therefore, 1 plus a is equal to 1. Next, 1, it's a 0 into a is equal to 0. 0 into a is equal to what? 0. Example, 0 into 0 is equal to 0. Here, 0 into 0 is what? 0. And similarly, if I put 0 into 1, if I put a equals 1, 0 into 1 is what? 0. Hence, 0 into a equals what? 0. Next one, 1 into a equals 1. 1 into a equals a. 1 into a equals what? A. Example, 1 into 0 is equal to 0. 1 into 1 equals 1. If 1 into a, if you put a equals 0, output is also 0. Therefore, a. If you put 1 equals, a equals 1, output is also 1. Therefore, a. Hence, 1 into a equals what? A. 1 into a is equal to what? A. Next rule. A plus a is equal to a. A plus a is equal to what? A. A into a is equal to a. A into a is equal to what? A. Next, a plus a bar is equal to a plus a bar is equal to 1. Example, if I put a equals 0, 0 plus negotiation of 0 is what? 1. 0 plus 1 becomes 1. If I put a equals 1, it becomes 1 plus 0 is equal to 1. That's why a plus a bar is equal to 1. A plus a equals 0. A equals 0. 0 plus 0 is what? 0. 1 plus 1 is 1. Similarly, a into a is also equal to a. So, very important rules. Next one, a bar of bar is equal to a. A bar of bar is equal to what? A. A bar of bar is equal to what? A. Next, another important formula is A plus B plus C whole bar is equal to A bar into B bar into C bar. So if the whole bar becomes individual bar with a change in the addition into what? Multiplication. Similarly, another formula, A into B into C whole bar is equal to A bar plus B bar plus C bar. A bar plus B. 2 like this. A plus B bar. This is equal to A bar dot B bar. A bar dot B bar. Similarly, if I take A dot B, two inputs, this is the formula. For three inputs, this is the formula. So with this small introduction, we'll go to the first question. We'll go to the one first question. Identify the logic operation performed by the circuit given here. Now this is input A. This is B. Now this is NOR gate. NOR gate followed by a NOT gate is a what? NOR gate. Therefore, output Y is equal to A plus B bar. Now this output of the first NOR gate is connected to the inputs of the second NOR gate. Therefore, input here is also Y, here is also Y. Then the final output X is equal to, it's a Y plus Y bar. Y plus Y bar. We know that A plus A is equal to A. A plus A is equal to what? A. Look at here. A plus A is equal to what? A. A plus A is equal to what? A. So I will use this formula. By using that one, Y plus Y is equal to what? Y. Therefore, this one becomes Y plus Y is equal to Y. The bar will be remain same. Therefore, X is equal to Y bar. Y means what? A plus B bar. It becomes A plus B bar, another bar, followed by another bar. So this bar will be same, this one, but Y is equal to what? A plus B bar, therefore A plus B bar of bar. Then X is equal to bar get cancelled by using this formula. Look at here. A bar of bar is equal to what? A. So A bar of bar is equal to A. Hence, X is equal to A plus B. So A plus B is the Boolean equation of what gate? OR gate. Therefore, this circuit will be operates like a what? OR gate. Therefore, option A is the correct answer. Option A is the correct answer. Next, second one. In the following circuit, what are P and Q? In the following circuit, what are P and Q? This is the circuit. This is NAND gate. This is also NAND gate. So the output of the NAND gate is what? Y is equal to A dot B bar. Here is also Y is equal to A dot B bar. Yes, sir. This problem will be solved by using a inspection method. Inspection method. Yes, take first P. P. So what is the possible value of P is they are given. P is connected to B. I will take this as A and this as what? B. So if this is A dot B, in the place of A it has 1, therefore it becomes 1 dot A bar agate, and this becomes B dot 0 bar agate. P. Next, P is connected to B. P is connected to B. Next, B is and O is connected to NAND gate, its output is Q. Then Q is connected to A. Then A and 1 is connected to P. Yes. First one, take P equals 0. P equals 0. If P is 0, B is also 0 because the output of the P is connected to what? B. Therefore, this is 0. B is equal to 0. 0 into 0, what? 0. Negotiation of 0 is what? 1. Therefore, Q is equal to 1. Q equals 1. And this Q is connected to A. Therefore, A is equal to 1. 1 into 1 is 1. 1 bar is what? 0. Or P becomes 0. P becomes what? 0. So here according to this one, P is equal to 0, but we are getting Q equals what? 1. Therefore option A is wrong. Now come to the B. Put P equals 1. P equals 1. If you put P equals 1, B is equal to what? 1. Whatever the input P is given, that is connected directly to the B, therefore B is equal to 1. Now, if B is equal to 1, then the output of this NAND gate, B dot 0 becomes what? 1 dot 0 is what? 0. 0 negotiation is what? 1. Q is equal to 1. Same is connected to A. Therefore, A is equal to what? 1. A is equal to what? 1. So then A is connected to 1. 1 is 0. 0 negotiation is what? 0. P should be equal to 0. But what we are getting? P is equal to 1. Therefore, option B is also wrong. Take C. P equals 1. Q equals 0. We are getting Q equals 1. Option C is also wrong. But P equals 0. The final output is coming P equals 0. If you put P equals 0, B equals 0, Q equals 1. Fine. Q equals 1. And A is equal to 1. When we give A equals 1, 1 into 1, it's a 1 dot 1 bar. 1 dot 1 bar is equal to 1 bar, that is equal to 0. And we are getting the 0 only. Therefore, option D is correct. Option D is the correct answer. Option D is the correct answer. Next, for a given digital circuit, write the truth table and identify the logic gate it represents. So write the truth table and write identify the logic gate. Yes, you can write the truth table. So you take this is A, this is A. So therefore, this one is what? A bar. A, we get what? A plus A whole bar. A plus A whole bar is what? A bar. This is also B bar. We know that output is of the NOR gate is what? A plus B bar. That is equal to, in the place of both the inputs are A only. Both inputs are BB only. Therefore, it's a plus A bar. A plus A is equal to what? A. Therefore, it is A bar. Therefore, Y is equal to A bar and B is equal to what? B bar. Now, this output is what? A bar dot B bar whole bar. A bar dot B bar whole bar. So, this is equal to A bar B bar whole bar. This can be written as A dot B becomes A double bar plus multiplication converts into addition. B double bar. Then Y is equal to bar get cancelled. Y is equal to A plus B. Y is equal to what? A plus B. Y is equal to A plus B. Y is equal to A plus B is a what gate? OR gate. Y is equal to A plus B is a what? OR gate. Y is equal to A plus B is what? OR gate. So here we know that Y is equal to A plus B bar. Here both the inputs are A only. Therefore, A plus A whole bar is A bar. Similarly, B plus B whole bar is B bar. Then the output of the third OR gate is Y is equal to A bar dot B bar. It's not dot, it's a plus. Sorry. Yes, y is equal to OR gate. Therefore, it's a first input is A bar. Here input is A bar. Here input is what? B bar. A bar plus B bar whole bar. A bar plus B bar whole bar. Now, by using that rule, we can write that A bar of bar into B bar of bar. Then Y is equal to bar of bar get cancelled. It becomes A into B. A into B is a what? Boolean equation for AND gate. Boolean equation for what? AND gate. Therefore, option C is the correct answer. Option C is the correct answer. Next one, to get an output y equals 1 from the circuit shown, the inputs A, B and C must be respectively. Yes, the output y should be equal to what? 1. This is y. This y should be equal to 1. So to get y equals 1, this is AND gate. And we know that in case of AND gate, output is high only when both the inputs are high. Now this means both the inputs must be 1, 1. That shows that C is equal to 1. C equals 1. Next, now this is OR gate. This is what? OR gate. And here output of the OR gate is 1. And in case of OR gate, output is high only when if any one of the input is what? High. So there are three possibilities: 1, 0, 0, 1, or 1, 1. And C is equal to how much? 1. This is the value of A and B. Look at the options. C must be equal to 1 irrelevant. I'll see 1 iradu one option A. 1, 0. First one 1, 0, 1. Therefore, option A is the correct answer. Option A is the correct answer. Next, fifth one. In the following combinations of logic gates, the output of A, B, and C are respectively. Yes, this is 1, 1. And this is what gate? NAND gate. In case of NAND gate, output is equal to what? Y is equal to A into B bar. So 1 into 1 is high. High bar is what? Low. This is 0. 0 negotiation is what? 1. And this is OR gate. In case of OR gate, Y is equal to A plus B. Y is equal to what? A plus B. Therefore, it's a 1 plus 0 is equal to 1. Therefore, A is equal to 1. Next, this A is equal to what? 1. Come to the second one. Not of 0 is what? 1. Not of 1 is what? 0. And this is what? NAND gate. NAND gate means Y is equal to A dot B bar. 1 into 0 is 0. 0 bar is what? 1. B also 1. Next C. This is NOR gate. 1, 1. In case of NOR gate, output is what? Y is equal to A plus B R bar. 1 plus 1 is high. Negotiation of high is what? Low. AND gate. This is AND gate. Y is equal to AB. So that is 0 into 1 is 0. Therefore, 1, 1, 0. Option C is the correct answer. So 1, 1, 0. Option C is the correct answer. Option C is the correct answer. Next one. The following truth table with A and B as inputs is for dash gate. Look at here. If input is high and output is input A is high, input B is low, then output is high. Both the inputs are high, output is low. Both the inputs are low, output is high. Low. That means output is high if any one of the input is what? High. Therefore, this is a XOR gate, truth table of XOR gate. Next, seventh one. The output of the OR gate is connected to both the inputs of NAND gate. So there is a one OR gate. This is OR gate. The output, this is the output of the OR gate, is connected to the both the inputs of the NAND gate. Both the inputs of what? NAND gate. Both the inputs of NAND gate. The combination will serve as the combination will serve as. So this is A, this is B. So this is A and this is what? B. Now this is A plus B. Y is equal to A plus B. This is also Y, this is also Y. This is X. X is equal to NAND gate. NAND gate means what? Y into Y bar. Y into Y bar. This is equal to Y means what? Y into Y bar is equal to Y. According to the rule, Y into Y is what? Y. Therefore, it's a Y bar. This, according to the rules, Y into Y is equal to Y. Therefore, Y bar and Y is equal to A plus B. It's a plus B whole bar. Then X is equal to A plus B whole bar. A plus B whole bar. This is a what gate? NOR gate. It is a Boolean equation for what gate? NOR gate. Therefore, option D is the correct answer. Option D is the one correct answer. Next, 8th one. Next problem. If A equals 1, B equals 0, then A plus B bar equals. Yes, they are given A equals 1 plus B equals 0. 0 bar. 0 bar is equal to 1 plus. The 0 bar is equal to 1. 1 plus 1 is equal to what? 1. 1 means what they are given? A. Therefore, A. Hence, we can take A plus B bar is equal to A equals 1 plus B equals 0 bar. Bar is there, therefore 0 bar is equal to 1 plus 0 of bar is 1. Therefore, 1 plus 1 is equal to 1. And here 1 means A, 0 means B. Therefore, A. Or we can also write A plus B bar. We are getting how much? 1. This 1 can be also written as a negotiation of B, B bar. B equals what? 0. Negotiation of 0 is equal to what? 1. Therefore, both B and C are correct. Both option B and C are correct. Both options B and C are what? Correct. Both the options B and C are what? Correct. So this is about a small brief discussion of MCQ related to logic gates. This type of questions will appear in both NEET and CET exams. Next, we'll move to the next one, magnetism and matter. Next chapter, magnetism and matter. So now, which of the following property is false for a bar magnet? Yes, false. For an incorrect statement, you have to. Yes. First one, it does not produce magnetic field. So the bar magnet does not produce magnetic field. Next, the bar magnet, its poles cannot be separated. Next, it points in north-south direction when suspended. Next point, its like poles repel and unlike poles attract. So from this one, it is clear that its poles cannot be separated. Yes, the poles of the bar magnet cannot be separated. If the bar magnet is to make into pieces, every piece have a north and south pole. Now, if any bar magnet is suspended, it always comes to rest in what direction? North-south direction. This is also correct property. This is also correct. Its like poles repel and unlike poles attract. Correct. And it does not produce magnetic field. So bar magnet always produces magnetic field and because of the magnetic field produced by the bar magnet only, its poles cannot be separated. It always aligned in north-south direction, and its poles repel and attract. Therefore, this is the false statement. A is the false statement. Next, second one. The two lines of force due to bar magnet. The two lines of force due to bar magnet intersect at a neutral point. Intersect at a neutral point. Intersect near the poles of the magnet. Intersect on the equatorial axis of the magnet. Do not intersect at all. The magnetic field lines. The magnetic field lines do not intersect at all. It may be electric field lines or magnetic field lines. They do not intersect at all. So they always start from north pole, and they they start from north pole, and sorry, in outside the magnet they start from north pole and they terminate at south pole, and inside the magnet they move from south pole to north pole. These magnetic field lines never be intersect at any point. Therefore, option D is the correct answer. That is the property of the magnetic field lines. Next one. Two identical bar magnets are fixed with their centers at a distance d apart. A stationary charge Q is placed at P in between the gap of the two magnets at a distance capital D from the center O as shown in the figure. The force on the charge Q is, so the force on the charge Q is, the charge is stationary, is given the information that the charge is stationary. When the charge is stationary, the force on the charge is F is equal to QVB sin theta. If charge is at stationary, V is equal to 0, that implies F is equal to 0. Therefore, option A is the correct answer. Option A is the correct answer. Next, fourth one. The strength of the Earth's magnetic field is constant everywhere, zero everywhere, having very high value. If the magnetic field of the Earth magnetic field is constant everywhere or zero everywhere, then there is no need to define the three Earth elements like declination, inclination, and horizontal component of the Earth magnetic field. We are defining the terms only what? Because the magnetic field of the Earth is what? Vary from place to place. Therefore, to get the direction and magnitude of the magnetic field at any point on the Earth's surface, we are defining the three quantities called inclination, declination, and horizontal component of the Earth magnetic field. Option D is the correct answer. Next one. The compass needle, which is allowed to move in a horizontal plane, is taken to a geomagnetic pole. It is. If we take, this is the Earth. This is the Earth. This is the true geographic north. And this is the magnetic north pole. And this is the magnetic south pole. Magnetic south pole. The magnetic field lines start from south pole and terminates near the magnetic north pole, like this. Like this. The magnetic field lines are like this. That shows that at all the points on the Earth's surface, these magnetic field lines are parallel to the surface. Look at here. Here they are parallel to the surface. But at the poles, the magnetic field lines are perpendicular to the surface. Magnetic field lines are what? Perpendicular to the surface. If any magnetic needle is taken near the geomagnetic poles, that is magnetic north or magnetic south pole, then that horizontal component of the Earth magnetic field, pH, becomes is equal to 0 and PV becomes is equal to P. So then the magnetic needle will stay in any position. It will be stay in what? Any position. So because of the horizontal component of the earth magnetic field, it always aligned in what direction? North south direction. When we reaches to the geomagnetic poles where BH is equal to 0 and BV is equal to B, that is the earth magnetic field. Hence, at that point, the magnetic needle will stay in any position. Option B is the correct answer. Option B is the what? Correct answer. Next one, sixth one. Sixth one. The angle which the total magnetic field of the earth makes with the surface of the earth is called inclination. Surface of the earth means horizontal. This is nothing but a horizontal. The angle made by the earth's total magnetic field with the earth's surface means horizontal is called what? Inclination. Option D is the correct answer. Next, seventh one. At certain place, the horizontal component of the Earth's magnetic field is 3 cos. The angle of dip at the place is 30 degree. The magnetic field of the Earth at that location. The magnetic field of the Earth at the location. So we know that we should know the Earth elements. So the VH, the horizontal component of the Earth magnetic field, is nothing but V into cos I. V into cos I. And the vertical component of the earth magnetic field, BV, is equal to B sin I, where I is called inclination. Where I is what? Inclination or dip. Where I is what? Inclination or dip. PH is the horizontal component of the earth magnetic field, which is parallel to the surface. And BV is the vertical component. It is always towards the center of the earth. And they are expressed in terms of B cos I and B sin I. Now take this equation. They have given BH. Take this equation. So BH is equal to B cos I. You have to calculate B. Therefore, B is equal to BH by cos I. BH by cos I. But BH is how much? 3 divided by cos 30 degree. It's a 3 divided by cos 30 is what? Root 3 by 2. Then B is equal to, this 2 goes to the numerator. It's a 6 by root 3. 6 by root 3. It's a 6 by 1.73. If it is 2, if we taken 2, 6 by 2 is 3. But it is less than 2. Therefore, it is greater than 3. The answer will be what? Greater than 3. Greater than 3 is what? 3.5 cos. Therefore, this is the correct answer. Option C. Option C is the correct answer. Next. At the magnetic north pole of the earth, the value of horizontal component of the earth magnetic field and angle of dip are respectively. Angle of dip respectively. Yes, angle of dip. Angle of dip means what? It is the angle made by the Earth's total magnetic field with the horizontal. Yes. If you come to the Earth magnetic pole, this is a north magnetic pole. At this point, the direction of the magnetic field is exactly perpendicular to the surface. Then what is the horizontal component here? When theta is 90, so here theta is 90 means this is BH and this is BV. This is what? BV. The angle between them is what? 90. Then this is angle of inclination. Angle of inclination means the Earth's total magnetic field. The Earth's total magnetic field. The Earth's total magnetic field is what? Perpendicular to the surface. And that is equal to what? BV. And BH is equal to B cos I. Here angle of inclination is equal to 90 degree because the angle made the earth total magnetic field is earth's total magnetic field with the horizontal means with the surface is how much 90 degree. Therefore angle of inclination is equal to 90 degree. And next we know that BH is equal to B cos psi. BH is equal to what? B cos psi. And BH is equal to B into cos 90. B into cos 90 becomes what? 0. Therefore, BH is equal to 0. Hence, the option is what? The horizontal component of the earth magnetic field at the poles is 0. BH is equal to 0. And angle of dip is maximum. That is 90 degree means what? Maximum. At the poles. Maximum. Therefore, option A is the correct answer. Option A is the correct answer. Next, at a point A on the Earth's surface, the angle of dip is plus 25 degree. At a point B on the Earth's surface, the angle of dip is minus 25 degree. We can interpret. Yes. If okay, dip is positive in northern hemisphere. Dip is positive in northern hemisphere. Dip is positive in northern hemisphere and dip is negative. Dip is negative in southern hemisphere. Southern hemisphere. Therefore, the correct answer is A is located in the northern hemisphere and B is located in the southern hemisphere because at point A, the dip is positive means it is in northern hemisphere and the point B where dip is negative means it is in what? Southern hemisphere. Therefore, option D is the correct answer. Option D is the correct answer. Next, 10th one. The angle of dip at a certain place where horizontal and vertical component of the Earth's magnetic field are equal. So is given that BH is equal to BV. BH is equal to what? BV. So the angle of dip at a certain place in the case. So we know that BH is equal to B cos I. B cos I. And BV is equal to B sin I. B sin I. If we divide the both the equation, PB cancel, sin I by cos I is what? Tan I. Therefore, you should know this one formula. Tan I is equal to BV by BH. But they are given BH is equal to BV. Therefore, tan I is equal to BV by BV or BH by BH. Get cancel, it is equal to 1 and angle of inclination is equal to tan inverse of 1. Tan inverse of 1 means 45 degree. Angle of inclination is equal to what? 45 degree. That is option D. Option D is the correct answer. Next, 11th one. If a magnet is suspended at an angle of 30 degree to the magnetic meridian, the dip needle makes an angle of 45 degree with the horizontal. The real dip is the real dip is. Okay. In this problem, so this is a diagram. I will take a cube of the earth surface. Okay, this is a cube of the Earth surface I have taken. Yes. Now, this is the true geographic north. This is what true geographic north. But where the magnetic needle is making in this direction. That is, this is the angle made by the magnet. How much angle it is inclined to the magnetic meridian? 30 degrees. 30 degree. It is inclined to the what? 30 degree. Now, this is magnetic meridian direction. So, this is the direction of what? Magnetic north. Now, this is the vertical component of the magnet. That is BV. And this is the horizontal component of the magnet. This is BH. But what is the vertical component for both the terms remains same. Then what is the component of this BH along the magnetic direction? This is theta. For this theta, this is what side? Adjacent side. Then it becomes BH cos 30 degree is the horizontal component. Next, they are given the inclination, magnetic dip or inclination, that is I dash. They are given I dash is equal to 45 degree. When the magnetic needle is make an angle 30 degree with the what? True geographic north or magnetic meridian. If the magnet is in the magnetic meridian, what will be its dip and the delta? So you have to calculate the I. So for that, you have to take tan I dash. Tan I dash is equal to, the first of all, I will take tan I. Tan I is equal to, let's say, tan I equals PV by PH. Tan I is equal to what? PV by PH. Next, tan I dash. Tan I dash is equal to PV same. But horizontal component is not BH. It's a what? BH cos 30 degree. BH cos 30 degree. Now BV by BH can be replaced by tan I. Therefore, this becomes tan I divided by cos 30. Or tan I dash means tan 45 degree is equal to tan I divided by cos 30 is how much? Cos 30 is root 3 by 2. So tan 45 is 1. Therefore, tan I is equal to 1 into root 3 by 2. Or I is equal to tan inverse of root 3 by 2. Tan inverse of what? Root 3 by 2. Tan inverse of root 3 by 2. Option C is the correct answer. Option C is the correct answer. Next, the magnetic moment produced in a substance of 1 gram is 6 into 10 power minus 7 ampere meter square. If its density is 5 gram per centimeter cube, then the intensity of magnetization is in the calculator. Yes, they are given density. Density is equal to 5 gram per centimeter cube. 5 gram per centimeter cube. So gram can be converted into kg by multiplying what? 10 power minus 3 kg divided by centimeter cube. 10 to the power of minus 2 meter whole cube. Then we get it's a 5 into 10 to the power of minus 2 cube is minus 6. Comes to numerator plus 6. Plus 6 minus 3 is plus 3. 10 to the power of plus 3 kg per meter cube. Rho is equal to 5 into 10 power plus 3 kg per meter cube density. Now, intensity of magnetization means H. No, magnetic intensity of magnetization means M. The magnetization M is equal to the net magnetic moment developed per unit volume. Net magnetic moment developed per unit volume is called magnetization. So, and this is equal to net magnetic moment produced in the substance is given. It's a 6 into 10 power minus 7 divided by volume. Volume is equal to what? Density is equal to mass by volume. Density is equal to mass by volume. Volume is equal to mass by density, m by rho. Therefore, this is equal to 6 into 10 to the power of minus 7 divided by m. Mass is given 1 gram. Therefore, 1 into 10 power minus 3 kg divided by rho is equal to 5 into 10 power 3. Then the magnetization capital M is equal to 6 into 5 into this term will comes to the numerator. Therefore, 6 into 5 into 10 to the power of minus 7 into 10 to the power of plus 3 into minus 3 comes to numerator, it becomes 10 to the power of plus 3. Therefore, it's a 30 into 10 to the power of minus 1. That is 3 ampere per meter. So option B is the correct answer. Option B is the correct answer. Next one, an iron rod of susceptibility 599. Susceptibility means chi is equal to 599. Is subjected to a magnetizing field of 1200 ampere per meter. So magnetizing field means magnetic intensity H. H is equal to 1200 ampere per meter. The permeability of the material, mu. You have to calculate mu. Mu is equal to mu naught into mu r. Mu naught is given. You have to first calculate mu r. To calculate mu r is equal to 1 plus chi, magnetic susceptibility. Therefore, mu r is equal to 1 plus 599. That is, mu r is equal to 600. Hence, the mu is equal to 4 pi into 10 power minus 7 into 600. That is 24,000 pi into 10 power minus 7. So, if I take fraction, it's a 2.4 pi into 10 power plus 3 into 10 power minus 7. That gives 2.4 pi into 10 to the power of minus 4. 10 to the power of minus 4. Mu equals. This is the answer. Option A. Option A is the correct answer. Next, the magnetic induction and intensity of the magnetic field inside the iron core. Magnetic induction means B. B is equal to 1 Weber per meter square means Tesla. Weber per meter square means Tesla. B. And in magnetic field intensity andre H. H equals 150 ampere per meter is given. The relative permeability of the iron is. The relative permeability of the iron is. So we know that B is directly proportional to H. So H is directly proportional to B. That shows that B is equal to mu into H. Or B is equal to mu naught into mu r into H. Mu naught into mu r into H. We want mu r. So mu r is equal to B by mu naught into H. So B is 1. They are given. Mu naught is 4 pi into 10 to the power of minus 7 into H. H is equal to 150. That is 1 divided by 15 fours are 60, 600. 600 pi into 10 to the power of minus 7. This is equal to It's a 1 by 6 pi into 10 to the power of 2 into 10 to the power of minus 7. That will gives 1 by 6 pi into 10 to the power of minus 5 comes to numerator, it's a plus 5. 10 to the power of 5 by 6 pi. Option B is the correct answer. Option B is the correct answer. Next one. The relative permeability of the medium is 0.075. And what is its magnetic susceptibility? They are given mu r. So mu r is equal to 0.075. What is magnetic susceptibility? So mu r is equal to 0.075. Now we want to calculate magnetic susceptibility. So to calculate magnetic susceptibility, we know that mu r is equal to 1 plus chi. Or chi is equal to magnetic susceptibility, chi is equal to, it's a mu r minus 1. Mu r minus 1. Chi is equal to mu r is 0.075 minus 1. That is equal to minus 0.925. 925. Option B is the correct answer. Option B is the correct answer. So these are the some problems we solved in the chapter magnetism and matter. And this is here because of blow up syllabus. It's a very limited syllabus for 2 hours. And from this chapter, maximum 1 question will be asked. Now we'll move on to the next chapter, electromagnetic waves. Electromagnetic waves. First question. All components of the electromagnetic spectrum in vacuum have the same velocity, energy, velocity, wavelength, frequency. So here energy, wavelength and frequency are different. So depending upon the frequency only, the electromagnetic radiation is classified into 7 types. That is called electromagnetic spectrum. Therefore, for all the electromagnetic radiations, energy, wavelength and frequency are same, but they are traveling with the what? Same velocity. Therefore, option B is the correct answer. Next one. If you come to the electromagnetic waves, the electromagnetic waves are what? Consisting of oscillating electric and magnetic field. They are mutually perpendicular to each other. This is the electric field vector. This is the electric field vector. And this is the magnetic field vector. Like this. Now, here electric field vector and magnetic field vector are what? Mutually perpendicular. And another is electric field is maximum, where magnetic field is also maximum. Electric field is 0, magnetic field is 0. Therefore, they are in what? Phase. Therefore, both electric and magnetic fields are oscillating in mutually perpendicular planes, but vibrating in phase is the correct answer. Option D is the correct answer. Next, question 3. If mu naught is the permeability of the free space and epsilon naught is the permittivity of the free space, the speed of light in vacuum is given by, the speed of the light in vacuum is given by 1 divided by square root of mu naught into epsilon naught. This can also be written as 1 by mu naught epsilon naught whole square root. Therefore, option A is the correct answer. Option A is the correct answer. You should know that one. The speed of the light is equal to 1 by square root of mu naught into epsilon naught. In a medium, if you come to the in a medium, it becomes V. V is equal to 1 divided by, it's a square root of, in the place of mu naught, you have to say mu. In the place of epsilon naught, epsilon. So for a medium, the speed of the light is, light is given by V is equal to 1 by square root of mu into epsilon naught. And this can be written as V is equal to 1 divided by square root of mu means what? It's a mu naught into mu r. Epsilon means what? Epsilon naught into epsilon r. and this can be written as V is equal to 1 divided by square root of mu r into epsilon r into square root of mu naught into epsilon naught. And this can be represented by what? C. Therefore, V is equal to C divided by square root of mu r epsilon r. This is another formula. V is equal to C by square root of mu r into C divided by square root of mu r into epsilon r. Mu r into epsilon r. That is for expression for speed of the light in a medium in terms of relative permeability and relative permittivity. Where C represents speed of light in vacuum. Where C represents speed of light in vacuum. An electromagnetic wave passing through vacuum is described by the equation E is equal to E naught sine kx minus omega t and B is equal to B naught sine kx minus omega t. Then an electromagnetic wave is passing through a vacuum is described by E is equal to E naught sine kx minus omega t and B is equal to B naught sine kx minus omega t. Yes, we know that when the electromagnetic wave is traveling in the medium, it consisting of oscillating and electric and magnetic field. Even it consisting of both electric and magnetic fields which are mutually perpendicular to each other, the propagation is perpendicular to them and it is not changes due to the presence of the electric and magnetic field. Therefore, they obeys velocity selector. Therefore, the speed of the light is also given by C is equal to E naught by B naught. E naught by B naught. E naught by B naught. From velocity selector equation, we know that V is equal to electric field by magnetic field. And here speed of light C is equal to electric field vector. It's a E naught. If I take amplitude, it's a E naught. Magnetic field amplitude is B naught. It's a E naught by B naught. C is equal to what? E naught by B naught. And also the speed of the light C is equal to omega by K. In the previous year, we have discussed in waves, the velocity of the wave is equal to omega by K. Omega is the angular frequency and K is the what? Propagation constant or wave number. Now, so LHS is same. Hence, we can write that implies E naught divided by B naught is equal to omega by K. E naught by B naught is equal to omega by K. Or it's a K into E naught. E naught into K is equal to B naught into omega. B naught into omega. Option A is the correct answer. Option A is the what? Correct answer. Option A is the correct answer. Next problem. Fifth one. A plane electromagnetic wave propagating in the x direction has wavelength 6 mm. Lambda is equal to 6 mm. The electric field is in the y direction and its maximum magnitude is 33 volt per meter. The electric field is in the y direction and its maximum magnitude is 33 volt per meter. So maximum magnitude means E naught. E naught is equal to 33 volt per meter. And electric field is in the what direction? Y direction. The equation of electric field as a function of x and t is like the equation of electric field as a function of x and t is like now we know that it is in y direction, therefore Ey. Ey is equal to E naught. Ey is equal to what? E naught sine of omega sine of omega t minus sine of omega t minus kx. This is the equation. And we can write that Ey is equal to, but here they are given t minus x by c. Therefore, I will substitute Ey is equal to E naught sine of omega t minus. So we know that omega by k is equal to c. Omega by k is equal to what? C. Or k is equal to what? K is equal to omega by c. Substitute here, k is equal to omega by c. This is omega by c into x. Now omega is common, hence Ey is equal to E naught sine omega of t minus x by c. T minus x by c. T minus x by c. Omega of t minus x by c. Now, to calculate omega is given lambda. So, lambda is equal to 2 pi f or 2 pi c by lambda. So, it's a 2 pi into c is 3 into 10 power 8 divided by lambda is 6 millimeters. 6 into 10 power minus 3. So 3 2s are 6, 3 1s are 3 2s are 2 2s cancel. This is equal to pi. Pi into 10 to the power of 11. Omega is equal to pi into 10 to the power of 11. Then Ey is equal to E naught. E naught is given 33. It's a 33 sine of omega is pi into 10 to the power of 11 of t minus x by c. This is the equation. So 33 sine of pi into 10 to the power of 11 t minus x by c. Option B is the correct answer. Next, a charged particle with velocity 2 into 10 to the power of 3 meter per second passes undeflected through electric field and what? Magnetic fields in a mutual perpendicular directions. The magnetic field is 1.5 Tesla. The magnitude of the electric field will be, so is given velocity. So velocity is equal to 2 into 10 to the power of 3 meter per second. Passes undeflected. Undeflected means it is in a both uniform and mutually perpendicular electric and magnetic field. The charge particle is moving without deflection means V is equal to E by B. V is equal to what? E by B. So now V is given V is equal to 2 into 10 to the power of 3 meter per second and B is given 1.5 Tesla. The magnitude of the electric field you have to calculate. So E is equal to V into B. V is 2 into 10 to the power of 3 and B is 1.5. It's a 3 into 10 to the power of 3 Newton per coulomb. 3 into 10 to the power of 3 Newton per coulomb. Option C is the correct answer. Option C is the correct answer. Next, seventh one. A plane electromagnetic wave of frequency 20 megahertz travels through a space along x direction. If the electric field vector at a certain point in space is 6 volt per meter, so electric field E is given, E is equal to 6 volt per meter. What is the magnetic field vector at that point? What is the magnetic field vector at that point? So it's an electromagnetic wave. For electromagnetic wave, speed of the electromagnetic wave is equal to E by B. E by B. So now is asking for B. B is equal to E by C. So why for electromagnetic wave C is equal to E by B means now the wave will be propagated in a one particular direction. Electric field is oscillating in Y direction and magnetic field is oscillating in Z direction. Therefore, the propagation direction will not be deflected. It remains same. That's why it obeys velocity selector, hence C is equal to E by B, or B is equal to E by C, and here E is equal to 6 divided by 3 into 10 to the power of 8. Therefore, 3 ones are 3 twos are. It's a 2 into 10 to the power of minus 8 Tesla. 2 into 10 to the power of minus 8 Tesla. Option B is the correct answer. Option B is the correct answer. Next one, 8th one. If E and B represent electric and magnetic field vectors of an electromagnetic wave, the direction of propagation of wave is along. So if electric and magnetic field are represents electric and magnetic field vectors of an electromagnetic wave, the direction of the propagation of the wave is along. Yes, we know that this is the direction of electric field vector E. Electric field vector is acting in y direction. I will take, and this is the direction of z axis. That is direction of magnetic field vector. Now the direction of propagation is along x axis. The direction of propagation is along what? X axis. Now the direction along the x axis is represented by I. The direction along the y axis is represented by j cap. J cap. And direction along the z axis is represented by k cap. So now the direction of the propagation of the wave means that the wave will be propagated in what direction? In this direction. The direction of the propagation is represented I cap. We know that from the unit vectors I cap, j cap and k cap. So j cross k is only becomes I cap. Therefore, we know that I cap is equal to j cap cross k cap. J cap cross k cap. So from this it is clear that the direction of the propagation I cap, that is along x axis, is equal to j cap. It is the direction of what vector? Electric field vector E cross k cap means what? Direction of the magnetic field vector B. So therefore the direction of propagation of the wave is along E cross B. That is option D. Option D. It's along E cross B. 9th one. An electromagnetic wave is traveling in x direction with electric field vector given by Ey is equal to E naught sine kx minus omega t j cap. The correct expression for magnetic field vector. So now the electromagnetic wave is traveling along what direction? X direction. And electric field is in y direction. Then magnetic field must be in what direction? Z direction. So electric field is in y direction. Propagation is in x direction. Then magnetic field should be in what direction? Z direction. Therefore, it's a BZ. These are the two options. Now, if we come to the magnetic field vector, it's a BZ is equal to, it's a B naught. B naught. Same, in the place of E naught, we have to put B naught. Sine of Kx minus omega t. In the place of J cap, you have to put K cap. But we know that from the equation, C is equal to B naught by E naught. So when B naught is equal to what? Sorry. It's a C is equal to what? E naught by B naught. C is equal to what? E naught by B naught. But C is equal to E naught divided by B naught. That implies B naught is equal to E naught by C. Substitute here. Then BZ is equal to E naught by C into sine kx minus omega t into k cap. E naught by c into sin kx minus omega t into k cap. This is the option. Option C is the correct answer. Option C is the correct answer. Next, 10th one. A light beam of intensity. The intensity is given I. I is equal to 20 watt per centimeter square. Is incident normally on a reflecting surface. It is incident normally on the reflecting surface of side 25 into 15 centimeter. Area is given. Area is equal to 25 into 15 centimeter square. The moment imparted to the surface by the light per second is the calendar. So here this is the incident wave and it reflect back like this. Reflect back. Now the initial momentum is Pi. Reflected momentum is PR. But both are acting in opposite direction. Pi minus PR. Now the total momentum becomes what? The total change in momentum. Change in momentum is initial momentum minus final momentum. That is Pi minus of minus PR. So both are P. P plus P is equal to what? 2P. Therefore, the total momentum imparted is what? 2P. Hence, so the expression for momentum imparted is P is equal to 2 into E by C. P is equal to what? Total momentum imparted. Because 2P. So P, the total momentum is equal to total momentum imparted is twice the E by C. E by C is the momentum imparted. It is the 2P. 2 into E by C. This is for reflection. This is for what? Reflection. For reflection, the momentum imparted is P is equal to 2E by C. Again, for refraction, momentum imparted is only E by C. E by C. Yes, here reflected wave, therefore P is equal to 2E by C. And we know that intensity is equal to, intensity is what? Intensity is the amount of energy emitted or incident per second per unit area. Intensity is the amount of energy incident per second per unit area. Therefore, we can write that I is equal to intensity. Intensity I is equal to, let's say, E by A into T. This is intensity. Amount of energy incident or imparted per unit area per second is called intensity. Now he is asking for rate of change of momentum. Therefore, I will take here P by T. P by T. P by T. So, okay, I will take P is equal to E by C and I is equal to EA by T. For 1 second, per second is giving per second. Therefore, take T equals 1. If you take T equals 1, its I is equal to what? E by A. That implies E is equal to I into A. Therefore, this equation becomes 2IA by C. Substitute body. 2 into I is how much? It's a 20 watt per centimeter square. So per centimeter square means it's a into 10 to the power of minus 2 means plus 4 I think. It's a 20 watt divided by centimeter. Centimeter ಅಂದ್ರೆ it's a 10 to the power of, so 10 to the power of yes, this is equal to 20 watt centimeter square. Centimeter means 10 to the power of minus 2 whole square meter. 10 to the power of minus 2 meter whole square. That is equal to 20 into 10 to the power of 4 watt per meter square. Watt per meter square. Next, area. A is equal to 25 into 15 into 10 to the power of minus 2. 10 to the power of minus 2 meter whole square. So either we can write 20 into 10 to the power of 4 into 25 into 15 into 10 to the power of minus 4 divided by C is 3 into 10 to the power of 8. 10 to the power of 4, 10 to the power of minus 4 cancel. Next, 25. 25 twos are 25 twos are 50. 50 twos are 100, 1000. It's a 1000. This one, and this one becomes how much? 1000 into 3 ones are 3 fives are into 5 into 10 to the power of 8. That is 5 into 10 to the power of minus 8 minus 5. 5 into 10 to the power of minus 5. That is option A is the correct answer. Option A is the correct answer. Next, 11th one. Radiation of intensity 0.5 watt per meter square are striking a metal plate. The pressure on the plate is, when the radiation is incident on the plate, it exerts pressure. The pressure exerted by the radiation is given by R is equal to intensity divided by speed of light. Pressure P is equal to I by C. This is the pressure. The pressure exerted by the radiation is equal to intensity by speed of light. They are given intensity. Intensity is equal to 0.5 divided by speed of light. It's a 3 into 10 to the power of 8. So then it becomes 0.5 means it's a 1 by 6. I think 0.5 means 1 by 2. If the 2 comes to denominator, 2 into 3 is what? 6 into 10 to the power of minus 8. 1 by 6 means 0.1666 recurring into 10 to the power of minus 8. Therefore, option A is the correct answer. Option A is the correct answer. Next, 12th one. The electromagnetic radiations used to sterilize milk. Sterilize means to kill the germs. That is UV rays. UV rays are used to kill the germs. Therefore, to sterilize means to kill the germs. We use what? UV rays. Next one. Given below is a list of electromagnetic spectrum and its mode of production. Which one does not match? Gamma rays, yes. Gamma rays are produced in the radioactive decay of the nucleus. Yes, correct. Ultraviolet, magnetron valve, infrared radiation, vibration of atoms and molecules. X-rays are produced by, X-rays are what? Produced by inner shell electrons. Or X-ray tubes, not by Coolidge's tube. Therefore, this is the wrong one and correct answer. Option D is the does not match. Next, 14th. Which one of the following statement does not hold good for thermal radiation? Thermal radiation are electromagnetic waves. That's electromagnetic radiations. So they obey all the properties what electromagnetic waves obeys. The wavelength changes when it travels from one medium to another medium. Correct.
When the any wave which travels from one medium to another medium, wavelength changes. The frequency changes when it travels from one medium to another medium. Wrong. Frequency remains constant. Any wave, when it travels from one medium to another medium, wavelength, velocity changes, but frequency remains constant. Frequency remains constant. The speed changes when it travels from one medium to another. Yes. When the ray of light travels from one medium to another medium, velocity and wavelength changes, but frequency remains constant. They travel in a straight line in a given medium. Yes, all the electromagnetic waves follows rectilinear propagation. Therefore, A, C, D are correct statements, and option B is the wrong one. Therefore, that is the correct answer. B. X-rays, gamma rays, microwaves traveling in vacuum. How? In vacuum, all the electromagnetic waves are traveling with same velocity. Same velocity. Same velocity. In vacuum, all the electromagnetic waves are traveling with what? Same velocity. But not same frequency. With different wavelengths. Option C is the correct answer. Option C is the correct answer. So this is about some of the questions related to electromagnetic wave discussed in this chapter. So in this class, so even in the electromagnetic wave, one question will be appear in your CET exam. So okay, thank you.